So this toilet started leaking from beneath here. The husband had accidentally fallen against it, so I went ahead and pulled out all 3 of the bolts that go in here, here, and there. Of course, I took out all the water first by taking out the valve, draining all the water, and then of course the water is turned off. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the flush valve and the bolts and seals so it doesn't leak anymore. I'll show you as I go. So this is what it looks like on the back side. This is a seal and it goes into this part of the toilet. This of course goes to the bulb and makes everything flush. And then when you take the seal off here, this big gasket, there's a big nut that holds the actual flapper and everything in place. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace it with another one, which I have here. And everything will be all brand new. So I loosen this and there's a secondary gasket here. Look, this is completely rotted out. It's one of the old paper gasket. So that comes off. And I'm gonna go ahead and replace the handle too. It's looking pretty crowded. Yeah, look at this. The whole nut is rotting apart. Usually these come off reverse thread. This thing is just not going to come off, so I'm just gonna have to kind of chisel it apart and take it out. As you can see, the whole nut broke off. And I don't know. You gotta take it off and you just have to lean it way out, pull it out. And there's your handle. Pretty gross. Okay, and then it doesn't hurt to clean all this crap off. All this stuff accumulates over time. And it could cause it potentially leak. I don't know what this is. It's crud. Look at this. Gross. Crud. That's what I call it. You just want to make sure you're going to get a good seal. Oh, look at that. I'll clean that off. So now you just put this through here with the gasket on. And you want this just to be straight in the toilet. And the handle's here. So you can have it so it flushes. If you put it all this way, then there's too many things get in the way with the handle, and then you have the flush valve. So you can see right here, you don't want everything to be in the way of this. So you put it opposite the handle, makes it easier. Make sure before it's completely tight, everything's lined up again. See how I turn it? Turn it back this way, and then tighten it up. That's the way I'm going to do hand tight as far as it can go. And then use my channel locks. Okay. You don't want to way over tighten it. Not pretty snug, but you don't want to like totally warp out the gasket. Just go until it feels pretty snug. And that should be good. And put this gasket back on. Nice, all the way up. And then probably want to clean this out a little bit because it's kind of gross. If you can see from here, if you have your lever hole here, maximum fill line below the lever hole. So then that would put your fill cap here. And then you want the top of your overflow pipe. That's that thing we're gonna install. 3 inches below the top of the fill cap. So as you can see on this toilet, there's actually a ridge where the fill line of the valve should be. So if you have the fill line, which is right there on this valve, lined up with this ridge, should be about 1 inch below your lever, the handle. right down here that we had to cut off. I'm just gonna cut that off with my little grinder, or you can use a hacksaw, whatever you need. And you could take it out to do it, or in my case, because I have my little round grinder, I'm just gonna cut it here. Okay, and then when you want to adjust your lever, which, you know, your handle, arm, basically want the handle to be all the way down and the flapper to be all the way down and have a little bit slack. And then you have this nice long clip, so you have to account for that on the chain. And then you can either cut, you know, twist open the links of the chain to remove the excess, or you could bundle it up onto the hood. You bolt with the rubber washer, and then this goes through your tank. That's the porcelain. And you have a little metal washer, and then the thin hex nut. Then that's your bowl, that part. So you rubber washer tuck at the head of the screw, and then at the bottom. Okay, so you put your first washer on, put it through the holes, and you do that on these two. So I'm actually using the old stainless bolts. They're actually pretty nice. This one has a little gunk on it, but it's okay. Okay, once you have the nuts and washers on, then you can set it down onto the base of the toilet. You want it pretty tight so it doesn't wiggle around. So you want to tighten all these nuts under here evenly as you go, and just watch under the tank. Make sure they go down evenly. In this case, they're pretty much sitting on the bowl. But okay, so once you have everything tightened back on, you have your valve nut tightened, and then you tighten your inlet line to your valve stem. You can turn it back on. Fill up. Make sure nothing leaks. I like to wiggle everything around, make sure there's no drips. Check all of, in this case, 3. No drips. Nothing. That's not a drip, that's just a flow. Okay, once you have water in, you want the water line to usually be about a ½ inch below the top of the overflow. Looks pretty good. There's the water line. And the water is at the water line, so that's always good.